Well, hey, greetings everybody, and welcome to another Tech Tip Tuesday. Today is March 7th, 2023. The second one for the month already. My name is Ken Close. I am a Healy World member, engineer, and lover of the technology, by the way, just so you know. And I'm super happy to be here tonight. And I'm joined by my superstar co-host guest, Jake Barron, Head of Operations for Americas. Hey, Jake.
Hello, Ken. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome, welcome. And we've got the superstar Christian in the background from our customer service department with lightning speed fingers and a plethora of answers. So I think we're going to be able to take care of some things that you guys want to take care of. So let me tell you how this works. For you guys that are returning guests, welcome and thank you for being here. For those of you guys that are brand new, hey, welcome also. Here's what we do. This is a chat-based forum where we have you put your questions in the chat, and then we go through that lineup and bring them live on the call. Some of those get answered and solved by Christian, our CS agent in the background, and then some of those get brought live, and we unpack those here on the call. So that's what we can do. We talk about the technology. We talk about the apps. We talk about all kinds of stuff. Whatever your questions are. We don't really talk about the compensation plan. We're not really here to talk about the back office, but we want to make sure you understand how to use Healy, the benefits of Healy, and any struggles you might be having in understanding Healy. What we can't do is we can't treat, diagnose, prevent, or even really talk about or suggest any programs for disorders, discomforts, or diseases here on the show. So hopefully that makes sense. There's a great app that you can use for finding out what exact programs are for particular conditions that you're experiencing. So, hey, Jake, how about we get started, huh?
Let's go.
All right. All right. Well, let's see what we got right out of the bat here. Okay. So Nancy is saying that my Blue Dot Healy has switched to demo and all my data is gone. Well, actually the demo mode was a super cool feature that was added a while back, which is fantastic. Now, it can happen if you've logged out and you went to log back in and you just saw this choice that says demo mode and you click on it and it'll automatically load the system. So here's how you get out of that. All right, here's how you get out of that. All right, so on the app itself, at the bottom of the screen, there's that little gear icon. All right, it's on the far lower right. You click on that little gear icon, and then when you click on that gear icon, it's going to open another menu, and there's one that says, in fact, why don't we just do it here on the screen? How about that? I mean, we'll just do it together. I'll show you how that works. Okay, I'll share my screen with you and we'll just kind of go through the process and I'll show you how it works. Okay, so hang on one second. Give me a second to get my phone up on the screen and we'll make it happen. So anyway, what happens is you have a unique account and you log into it, and then it's essentially a cloud location only for you. And all your clients, all your records, all your scans, everything is stored there. You can log out of that account and then log in, or essentially take part in the demo portion of this, and then you'll have nothing there. It's just a blank slate in which you can do different different scans and all that kind of stuff. So hang on one second here. We're gonna share. Okay. And it's a process that, whether you're aware of how it happened or not, it still happened. Okay, it still happened. And so we're just gonna, I get this a lot. People go, I didn't do that. Well, yeah, there was a way that it happened. I promise. Okay, so here's my screen. Let's go ahead and go over to the HealAdvisor Blue Dot app. That's what it looks like. I go into next. And then it'll pop up with, at the bottom of the screen, it's going to show you that little gear icon I talked about. That's the far lower right. Click on the gear icon and you'll see cloud settings. Cloud settings, tap on cloud settings, and it gives us the opportunity to log out. The very first line item right there, log out. Okay, so go to that and you log out, it's going to have, it won't have your email address at the top. It's going to have some, whatever the account address is there. So the bottom of your screen, let's go back. Let's go back. The bottom of your screen, the little gear at the bottom right. Look at my screen here. I'm going to go to the home screen so you see where it looks like. There's a home screen, the bottom right of the screen, little gear icon. Tap on that little gear icon. Now, if you're not seeing it on your smart device, folks, here's some of the things that's happened with some of the older, a different hardware, because the screen, if in your settings you set it to zoom mode, then what happens is it enlarges everything on your screen, and some of the bottom content gets cut off, and you don't have that bottom thing. So in your settings, on your smart device, you have to go into settings. And if you don't know how to change from zoom mode to standard mode, there is a YouTube video. I promise you, go to YouTube and just click on the search function, and it's going to show you how to do that. Okay. All right. So Nancy, hold your phone still for a moment. Hold it still. Get it a little bit closer to the camera, a little bit higher.
Looks like it's still in demo mode at the bottom right. I see a blue blurry, but I think that's where the demo normally pops up. So
okay, so let's just go back here. I'm going to go into cloud settings. I'm going to log out. I'm going to say next. I'm going to say I have a Healy. I'm going to say start demo mode at the bottom. Click on it. It's going to go through some synchronization processes, and then it's going to show us demo mode. Okay, it takes a minute. It's going to do all this download content, and then take a look.
Yeah, that should be what hers looks like there. Yeah.
So right next to demo mode, there's a little gear. See that little gear? Tap on it. Tap on that little gear. All right. And then tap on cloud settings. And then there's your log out function. Okay. Hang on. Hang on, Nancy. I'm going to bring you on the mic now. Just hang on just a second here.
Nancy coming on live.
Come on, Nancy. Click on unmute on your screen there. All right.
Yeah, I was trying to kick on unmute. Hi.
Okay.
It's frozen. The little gear is frozen.
Okay. So if it's not activating when you touch it, it's not doing anything. You're going to have to hard close the app. You know how to hard close the app?
No.
Okay. So there's a function on your iPhone. If you have a home button at the bottom of the screen, the little round button at the bottom of the screen, you double click that button, and it'll pull up all of the programs you have open in a cascade fashion, and you can swipe them up. So let me tell you, Nancy.
Oh, I know. I did that right before we started, and I also restarted it because I listened to one of your other things. It said restart. So I turned it off and on. Okay. So the hard close is extremely important. The hard close all the other apps that are running in the background. Folks, we've talked about this before, haven't we? A lot of times where if there's a lot of content running in the background, it's consuming a lot of your smart device's hardware resources. And it's going to be extremely difficult for your smart device to perform the plethora of functions that's necessary the Healy app's asking you to do. So you have to hard close all those. All right, including the Blue Dot app. Hard close the Blue Dot app. Then go back and reopen it. Okay. I reopened it now, and it's still frozen. Sorry. Okay. I don't know.
You're gonna need to turn your smart device off, let it power down for at least 30 seconds, and then come back on again. If that doesn't work, that means your app has been corrupted. Something's corrupted. That means you're going to have to delete the app completely from your smart device. And here's the process, everyone. This is a great training piece, Nancy. Thank you. So whenever the app stops performing for any reason, number one, hard close all the apps that are in the background of your smart device. Hard close all those. Number two, turn your device. If it still didn't solve the issue, hard close the app right here, the blue dot app. Turn your device off and back on. If that still doesn't solve the issue, then you're going to need to delete the app. And then also, after you've deleted the app, hard close or shut down your smart device and start it back up. What this does is this process clears all of the consumed resources on your smart device that are stopping the function of the program in the first place. So, and the sequence, I want you to understand the sequence is also critical, because if you just simply turn your device off and back on and did not delete the app, and then you go and delete the app and not turn your device back hard off and back on, then you're still going to have some issues. So step one, right now, since we've witnessed what Nancy's going through.
I turned it off, I turned it back on, and I deleted the app. So we're back to maybe step two.
Okay, so you've deleted the app.
Deleted
The app is off the smart device. You turn the smart device off and then back on. Now you're going to go to your app store and you're going to reinstall the app. You're going to reinstall the app. All right, we're going to move on while you're doing that. And I'm going to mute you again, Nancy, and we're going to move on. Here we go. Okay. So some of you guys, now you see that I'm in demo mode, right? So how would we get out of demo mode if we're in there? Again, some people may not know how to do this. Again, back at the top of the screen, the first line item, because in demo mode, we can operate this blue dot app, our HealAdvisor Analyse system, completely without having any of the data saved to our account. So this is the way you could loan your device out, be able to let someone experience Healy and the benefits of the Resonance app or the scan function without having any of the content being saved to you. So then when you get your device back, you simply go back up to the top of the screen, first line item, click on log out. And then the next step is you're going to have to log back into your own account, and you'll be back into where all of your scans were. So the first line item right there, log in, tap on that, and it's going to have you put in your content. Okay. So that's how you get back in there. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and we'll move on to another question for a minute while Nancy's working on that. What do you got, Jake?
We got some feedback from Lindley that thank you for helping to get the Resonance Plus working again last week. So you're welcome. That's what we're here for. Happy to hear that things are working well.
We love those success stories.
Yeah.
Okay. See, so Rachel's saying that there are some program series that have a protocol as options to go deeper. Example in the Power of 3. So 3 weeks, 3-week rows of 1, 3, rows 2, 3 weeks, row 3. Okay. I also was on a webinar where the creator of the Deep Cycle talked about the 4-3-2-1 protocol. In other words, 4 days kidneys, 3 days lungs, 2 days, so on and so on. Are there others you could share with us? In other words, I'm assuming you're talking about the deep dive into some of the additional protocols. Are there others that you could share with us? Thanks. I'm a big fan of Healy and you on Tech Tip Tuesday. Okay. Thank you for that. So Power of 3, Deep Cycle, these are created for very specific things. The protocols that they go through are, well, again, some of them are preparing the body for even using microcurrent, right? The natural cycle has a very distinct pattern and a deeper dive. The natural cycle goes through many days with you in terms of its protocol. There are some videos. What in the Academy, Jake? what do we have on the natural cycle? We just did something with Nuno just not too long
Yeah,
ago.
Natural Cycle does have some good training videos there, and the next trigger date is coming up on March 21st. So we're about 2 weeks away now from that next start date. So that's one. But as far as any other protocols like she's referring to, I don't believe any exist on the, like specifically from Healy. There might be others out there that other people have learned and kind of experience from, but as far as, you know, going through our app manuals and stuff like that, you know, definitely Power of 3 is one, like she had mentioned, but.
The Power of 3 has the Ayurvedic training, so that you've got the Kapha, Pitta, Veda. And if you go to our Telegram group, and at the top under the search function, you search for even just Kapha or Pitta or any of those Ayurvedic trainings, you search that. And there is a training that was done by one of our members around that whole scenario of using that protocol. It's wonderful. She did a great job. So that's a deeper dive, because you're right. I mean, if you look at the Power of 3, you've got the classic physical and the classic energetic. Those are some of the Rife technology, by the way. Would you know that based on the name? Not necessarily. The Zapper protocol that's within that Power of 3, that's another very useful program. And Zapper, the whole Zapper understanding and Zapper technology, you can actually Google that. And there's another series of frequencies or another protocol in which that's a deeper dive. So sometimes the programs were created by other experts, right? And then they're placed in our possession so we can use them. And you may not know unless you've been here a minute, or you've actually had the ability to see some of the trainings on some of the social medias. I know that the Academy is getting better, and every time that there's another cycle of like the natural cycle, it gets a little bit more press, I guess you might say. And like Jake said, that's coming right up, right? Mm-hmm. The spring solstice or the spring cycle.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Hopefully that helps a little bit in terms of, like I said, our Telegram group, when we do some trainings and such, there'll be some description within the material. And so if you just search on the word, and if there's content that's covering that word in that group, you'll find the trainings. Okay.
Okay, I was waiting for this next question to pop up. Explain about the new HealAdvisor Analyse app email we got today. So a lot of you probably received an email about the beta testing or the new HealAdvisor Analyse app, so the Blue Dot app 2, the new version that was released just for Android for a limited period of time to do some testing for the release coming up here in the next few weeks or month or so. But yeah, it's for those of you that have an Android device, if you go to the Google Play Store, search for HealAdvisor Analyse app 2, you can download it and actually use it, and then you can provide feedback via a survey to the team here before the actual full release here in the near future. And for those of you that have tried it, it's amazing. It really is. Just the interface and the ease of use and the additional information, the different areas that you can click on. Oh, what does this mean? You just click on that. It'll pops up and tells you, oh, that's what the potency means and the other things mean. And what does the coaching module mean? And why am I doing this? And just, it really kind of guides you through every little part. So I'm thinking maybe we can I can share just a little bit of the graph, kind of the interface here on the call later, just a kind of a sneak peek for anyone that doesn't know what we're talking about here. But it's coming soon, and just like there was a new app for the Healy app, so the Healy app was referred to as the Pink Dot app, which is now the Healy 2 app, was a huge improvement, way better in every way. And this is the same thing, going from the Blue Dot app to this new Healy 2 app is that same leap forward. It really is going to change the experience for everybody that is using the Analyze app. And of course, we will, once it is released, we will do, you know, lots of trainings on that. I'm sure we'll have a Healy for beginners and beyond, specifically on the new Analyze app. But if you go to the Google Play Store on your phone, you'll be able to get that. But just for those of you that don't, this is what the app icon looks like. I had some actually questions on our last one of our last trainings. I kind of did a screen share, and that app icon was in my Healy folder. People like, wait, why doesn't mine look like that? But just, you know, just like the new Healy app, which is above Ken's shoulder there, it's no longer a blue dot, it's the blue waves or whatever we're gonna, you know, call this here. So yeah, there'll be another one available in the near future, and it's something that's been in the works for a long period of time. But definitely excited about having this one available for everybody here in the near future.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
You know, this is evolution. You know, it's Healy came about as a proof of concept kind of idea, and then it's just been building and building and building and building, and yeah, and we're learning how to use it in different ways. You know, if you guys missed the Healy for Beginners and Beyond last time, we talked about how to do remote sessions. Oh my gosh, that recording is on the YouTube page. So we went into quantum entanglement and we got a little deep. So
yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, let's see. Battery question. Is there a way to check the battery in the Blue Dot? In Healy 2, I will be at 80% range. Then the next time I use it, it's dead. Is there a more accurate way to check my battery? I wish the device had a low battery warning. Yeah, that would be awesome. But so yeah, in the Healy 2 app, there is a way to check the battery. And remember, this is an algorithm, by the way, within that this app, which is over here over my shoulder right there. The Healy 2 app, that's the one that handles all the microcurrent. Anyway, there's an algorithm that actually displays that little icon and tells you battery life, right? It's not actually testing the battery in the Healy, it's information. So sometimes you have to have that reset, recalibrated. And there is a way to do that.
Yeah, we did a training on this, the hard reset process and basic battery troubleshooting, on our February 2nd Healy for Beginners and Beyond. I'll put the link. It'll take you directly to that segment to review. But that solves a lot of issues. If something froze up or it's not connecting or whatever, as Ken mentioned, you can go through the process to hard close the app, restart your device. But that still doesn't work, and you can always try the hard reset, whether it's for the battery or any other sort of connection issue might help you out there. So.
And can you see that battery life in your Blue Dot app? So there is I haven't used my
yep.
One of not all the screens show it, but
yeah. But
which screen is it? The home screen, I think. Not the house one, but the middle one, the heartbeat one. Then it's got the your analyze functions on it.
Yeah.
You'll see the battery icon.
Yeah.
So not all the screens show it on the Blue Dot. Okay. So Bob has a question about how much to charge for a session. Well, we can't really talk about that. I mean, you know, sessions as a practitioner, you have things you do, and we don't charge for anything with the Healy. I don't, but I don't use it. I mean, I don't use it in that way. It's not my function. So, but we can certainly add things to our practices and such. That's something you guys will have to figure out with your practice. Let's see. So there's a statement here by my colleague, Rosemary, is having a problem using her Blue app on the vibration mode and needs help with it. Sometimes the vibration works, but often she has the following problems. One, it stops before the set vibration time has been completed. The Blue app screen then becomes totally blue, where I can't read the last part, where or something. I got the little icon on my way. Oh, there you go. Or white. Okay, so blue or white. All right, the vibration stops before the set time and I receive an error message. Okay. A note says I recently had a bad break, so have been setting the time for vibrations of 5 to 8 hours to support me during the night. Also, my phone is fully charged and the Healy is also the Healy before I set up these vibrations. So blue screen, white screen. Making sure you've got the most latest in your software. Number one, the most latest in your software. So in other words, whatever the app version is at its highest. So where you've gone to your app store, you've opened it from there. It's imported the most latest version. Now, a blue screen or a white screen is the app being confused? Really? I mean, it loses connection or whatever. Now, with the Blue Dot app currently, it needs a real-time, full-time Bluetooth connection between the smart device and the app. If it loses that, it's going to freeze everything. It's going to stop the process. So, you may get an error, whatever the error message is in the moment, but there's going to be an error. You're going to stop the vibration part. And if you're asleep and you've set it for 5 to 8 hours, and some reason the Bluetooth signal, I don't know, it was too weak in the first place. The distance between the Healy hardware and the smart device is too far, or some interference. You're not going to know when it happens if you're asleep. So we did have some issues with that blue screen for a while, but that was, again, it was a connection issue.
Definitely always, as we've talked about before, always make sure the app is updated to the most recent version, too, because not everyone is updating their apps, and we still, the Healy 2 app, for example, has been out for I don't know, 4 or 5 months now, something like that. And, there was that issue with the old Pink Dot app where it would loop back to the main menu. And we still occasionally get someone submitting a support ticket saying, hey, my Pink Dot app's looping back to the main menu. How do I fix this? And, the fix is to use the new Healy 2 app. It's always important to have the most recent version and the most recent app to be using there.
I know that sometimes comfort zones are with the old software, but there's a reason for the new software. This reason has to do with the expansion of Healy's capability. And the reason that if you're still using the old app, the reason there's failures is because that expansion on your particular software has maxed out. It's not going to work anymore. So, and this is going to happen as we evolve. The hardware, app developers are required to revamp their apps kind of regularly to keep up with new software versions within your operating system, whether you're Android or Apple. Software developers, aka Healy or any other software developer out there, has to evolve with the software of the smart device. So, and there is as technology continues to advance, the current hardware eventually winds up getting outdated. So in other words, your smart device, maybe some of you guys has an older, Android or iPhone. It doesn't work anymore because the software that carrier or that provider is using won't function on that old hardware, right? How many of you guys have extra cell phones laying around because you had to replace them? They're 8 years old or something. All right. Next is
let's see. I think the next one we have is related to the Pink Dot Healy 2 app. It says the app states I'm out of battery when selecting a program, and it goes right back to the menu. I can use the Analyze app right after. It says that for hours without the battery going dead. This happens even when right after I take the Healy off the charger, and the Pink Dot app had no issue. So again, I think this is similar kind of to what we discussed earlier. Maybe, as far as it could be something within that app itself, the battery calibration is something off. It's definitely worth trying to do a delete and reinstall that app. You could try also the hard reset process that we discussed earlier as well to see if that fixed that particular issue. But have you heard anything specifically related to the Healy 2 app with any a battery? I've not. This has not come up for me at all as far as that battery issue or battery sensor calibration specifically related to that app.
No, I mean, nothing. Again, when it comes to the calibration, irregardless of the app, it's still a mathematical equation that needs to be recalibrated. But I don't know that there's anything. No.
Yeah. And while we're on there's one of the other questions coming up here is someone's had Melody's had her Healy on the charger for 3 hours and the green light hasn't gone off. She updated the Healy program this past week. What could be going on? She said usually her Healy charges within 2 hours. So this sounds like it, again, could be a battery calibration thing. Definitely worth doing that hard reset process that we described earlier and put the link into the chat that kind of shows how to go through that. So
yeah,
not necessarily anything wrong with your Healy, but it's worth doing that hard reset as well.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of press actually lately. I don't know if you guys on YouTube and such about gaining more life out of your mobile device, and they're showing and demonstrating how to clean the lint and junk out of the plug-in charger port on the phone. And here's why, because I understand from an engineering perspective, when we plug our Healy into the charger or plug our smart device into the charger, that charger, it's only 5 volts, right? And the amount of amperage that is being provided to that whatever you're charging, the amperage being provided is based on the adapter that's plugged into the wall, or in other words, the USB source that you're plugged into, as well as the integrity of the connections. Okay, so the integrity of the connections, because we're looking at low voltage. 5 volts is low voltage on the scale of energy. It's low voltage, and so a low voltage power source charging a low voltage device, the amount of contaminants in the plug-in can actually dissuade from the amount of power being transmitted in order to charge. So that's another thing. When you plug your Healy in, right where you plug your Healy in, how many of you guys wear your Healy? Well, you got it on your body, right? And our clothing and our body are, we've got lint and things, and it winds up in that little charging port. And so it's, the inside there is very small and contaminants can get in there. All right. There is moisture-free air that you can blow carefully in there that's designed for keyboards and computers and stuff like that to clean that out. But also, by the way, the actual charging cord itself, these cords are, they're inside the cord itself. The connection points are very, very thin little tabs, and in and out, plugged it in and out, plug it in and out will actually start to just decay some of the connection. So don't be afraid of getting a different cord, trying a new cord, right? And then retest your length of time. But also know that whatever your power adapter is that's plugged into the wall, that has a certain amount of output. The higher the output, the shorter charge time for the Healy. So some of those adapters are only like 500 milliamps. That's 1/2 of an amp. Healy can take 4,000 milliamps or 4 amps. It can take much more than that. You know, most of them on the market out there, the good chargers are about 2.5 amps or 2,500 milliamps. Those are just same number, same amount, just different measurements. Okay. So take a look at your charging device. The little adapter that plugs into the wall, it's going to have a little spec plate on it. It'll tell you your output. It'll say 5 volts, and it'll tell you your amperage, the amps, the AH. And you want to try to use something that's like 1.5 amps or 1,500 milliamps. 2,000 is a good one. 2,000 milliamps. All right. Let's see. I had a question in the background here, which I kind of like this question because it's talking about from, say, from purely a mathematical perspective, how can you have a negative number? And he's referring to the progression when you're running a pink dot app and microcurrent app, and you've got your progress bar start to show your progress bar anywhere from negative 99% to positive 99%. So Healy shows 2 areas in which it has a negative number. There's the one area. The other area is in the results of our analysis. We may have a negative percentage. In other words, you know, if you have a negative 70%, how can you have a negative anything percentage, right? That would mean that it's below, that we're measuring something below 0. And the point of that is we are actually measuring something below 0 when it comes to the microcurrent, because the range on that number scale, 0 being the center or balance, in other words, 0, and negative 99% or negative 99 being that we really need it a lot. Positive 99 meaning we're completely resonant and full with it. And that's just the pink dot app here, just the microcurrent. When it comes to the blue dot, or we're looking at the analysis is actually revealing things that are present in your life currently and not present in your life currently. In other words, they're still there, or we can even say it this way, subconscious or conscious. Below 0, so negative percentages, is things that are not so active in your life, but present. So below the surface of awareness. All right. So when you get a reading, you do a resonance reading, and it comes up with this percentage of relevancy within the findings of the database. And you have one that's 89%, and you have one that's 52%, and you have another one that's like negative 80%. So the ones that are positive are things you're aware of. They're conscious and active in your life. The negative ones are maybe you're not so aware of. They're inactive, but still present in your life, meaning that you probably haven't been doing any work on it. So this is the funny thing, is like, okay, wait a minute. I haven't been doing any work on it. Yeah, because you're not aware of it. It's not a bad thing. So those negative relevancies, negative percentages, are just things in essentially kind of the background, or inactive yet still present. And so pay attention to them. They still have relevancy. Okay. All right. I love it. When we look at things from an engineering perspective, believe me, and we see negative numbers, and we're like, it's a whole nother analytics within the brain. Thanks for that question, though. What is Go Quantum? Jake, you want to talk about that?
I answered that in the chat. It's a third-party site, that was designed to, assist customers and members with onboarding process, getting people started, and also helping you build your business. There's a bunch of different videos. If you go to the Go Quantum site, kind of a trailer videos of what the system does, and kind of shows all the different features. And if you want to, you can sign up for anything from a free package to one of their elite packages as well. So just all the details are there. We don't aren't going to go into details on this call, but certainly lots you can check out on that site.
All right. Let's see. What else do we got here?
This one is, I think, an interesting question. We talked a little bit about this on Healy for beginners and beyond last week, but it was, how close does the device need to be to the Analyze app to work? And then how close do you need to be to the device to get the benefits of the frequencies? So Ken, of course, we've talked a lot about on this call that the Bluetooth is Bluetooth low energy. So, you can't be, hundreds of feet away, or even, if you're in your house too far away, there's too many walls in the way, you would lose connection. So it kind of depends on where you are in your house, and if it's clear, path, less interference. But, in general, that's what, less than 30 feet is the overall guideline. And then, last week you talked a lot, Ken, about the information field and quantum entanglement. As far as when you're running a program in the Analyze app, you're communicating directly with the information field, which is everywhere. There is no, so that's why, we did a whole segment on doing these remote sessions, because the information field you can transmit to people all around the world, essentially. So the location of the device isn't critical. It needs to be close to your smart device, but not to you. It's the person that you're sending the frequencies to.
The Bluetooth low energy, or BLE, that's got a maximum range, estimated maximum range of 32 feet. And that's direct line of sight. So if your Healy is in one room and your smart device is in another room, the walls and the barriers lower that distance. So that's just the Bluetooth, though. That's just the communications between the smart device, the app, and the hardware, the Healy. But when we're actually using the Healy and its software, aka the apps, within that Blue Dot application, and we talked extensively about this when it's done remotely, we are working with a client that has very distinct quantum entanglement between the client that's put in through the software of the app. All the content around that client creates a signature, a GPS signature, or it's a universal positioning signature that isolates that one client, that one being, from the entire universe. And so when then we send frequency or energy, the intention of the app, it supersedes all space and time. There's no space in which it cannot reach, that's quantum entanglement. And we're talking about at the molecular level. We're talking about at the very tiny, at the atomic structure level. And sometimes it's hard to fathom that, because you can't touch it, right? But yet it's still effective. So, when it comes to the coil, if you got the coil attached to your device, that magnetic signature has about a meter or 3 feet maximum effective range. Now, it doesn't mean that that's where it stops. It goes to the edge of that parameter and stops. It's just that the amplitude of that signal starts to lower the further away it goes. But to be honest with you, that same magnetic signature is throughout the entire universe to some degree. As I've talked to before many times, a butterfly flapping its wings in one region of the planet influences weather patterns and airflow in other regions of the planet. One butterfly. Okay. So this is the same kind of thing, because if we look at this planet as a closed loop environment, right? And we all breathe the same air that the dinosaurs breathed. It didn't get new air. We don't really have new water. Everything is a recycling process. And so energy is always inconsistent. It's just different frequencies of it, and it's everywhere. Okay. I don't know if we answered this one. Let's see. What is the app you mentioned for conditions? Oh, so that is the HealAdvisor search app. Right beside me here. You see right beside me here, this wavy picture behind me. That wavy app, that picture, it's called the HealAdvisor search. And download that app. You can log into that. You should have the ability to use that. And then there's a search function in that app that you can put a keyword in. And we've done some training on that also, which is on the YouTube page. So that's great. All right. What else do we have here? As a member, therapist. Let's see. Client questions can. Okay, so let's see. Rachel says, let's see. One of your clients is a therapist, and he can charge for Healy sessions for his clients. The question is, can he advise these Healy services, advertise these Healy services on his website? So there's some compliance things around there. I would ask.
It's always best to check with compliance. I'll put the email in here. You can send them a note and just confirm. You can even send a screenshot or whatever what he's wanting to say, and then they'll get back to you.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best. Let them help you out.
Yeah, Ken and I aren't the compliance experts, so we leave that to that whole team there.
And there's a whole team there. So
yeah. So I just put the link. It's compliance@healyworld.net, and reach out to them. So
all right. Let's see. So it looks like there's not using pink dot only 2.0. Did try old pink dot to see if that happens there too. I'm sure we're talking about something else there. And I'm not sure what that meant.
I think it was just additional info for one of the prior things we were discussing. So
okay. Okay. Sasha says confusing. I run resonance analysis with all Healy programs. When I went back to my list and wanted to vibrate it back again in a week or so, I noticed that the content of the programs to vibrate back was diagnosed had changed. The fifth element was of content has changed to a different program. Is this possible? I did not run the new analysis, only went back to the old one. So this has happened. I suggest that you submit a ticket on that so that they can do some analysis in terms of how the interaction between your app and the cloud account saving, how it's saving on the cloud and all that kind of stuff, finding out its integrity. But I've talked about this in some of my groups. So if you didn't run the vibration in the first place, so in other words, you did an analysis and you have a result, and you just tucked it away, did nothing with it, and it changed, I would look at software. Okay, I would look at the interface between the software and the storage. I mean, put a ticket in, see if there can be some analytics there. But if you did run it and it changed, you're a different version of you the next week. So I still do another analysis to find out what's current. If I'm using the same database, I do another analysis within the same database, and does it reveal the same content? Probably not, because I'm not the same me in the next minute. But I would certainly have put a ticket in on that particular issue. I've had these conditions before, and we've talked about, well, is this AI system evolving on its own, or is there something going on we need to look at? Okay. Melody says charging station says 4.5 amp, 4.5A, and switch the outlet and the port, and it's now flashing green. Might have been that. Okay. Well, that's back to our other question we talked about before. Just getting a good connection. Now, when you say flashing green, here's another, it actually kind of oscillates a little bit. It doesn't really actually flash, but it may oscillate a little bit as it's charging, right? Not completely dim, but just oscillates a little bit. Okay. My devices, I'll say, so Dixie says my devices are different program versions. How are they updated? So any of your apps, the most current version is in the App Store. How do you get to it? Go to the App Store. Go to the App Store and open the app from there. There'll be a little icon, the little blue oval. It'll say open, or it'll say update. If it says update, then you know for sure that there is an update pending, and you click on it and it'll automatically update the app on your smart device. It'll do that automatically. If it says open, you're actually taking and opening the software from the App Store, meaning it could also update any issue that's going on with your version that's on your smart device. If you have any doubt that you have the newest version or not, in the pink dot, this one, the microcurrent one, the Healy 2 app, you can delete that app and reinstall it. Remember what I said about when you delete any app, not just Healy. When you delete the app, turn your smart device off after the completion of the deletion. Completion of the deletion. Turn your smart device off and then power it back up. That'll clean up all of the peripherals in which that app was using prior to it being deleted. Now you have a clean everything, right? Then reinstall the app. You should have a brand new version, whatever is there in the App Store. The App Store will contain the latest and greatest. It always will. Okay. All right. Melinda, can you speak to the intensity of 10 to 1, basically it's 1 between 1 and 10, and how to read it in the Aura Resonance and Coaching app? Are they the same? So there is a great video about the coaching app in the Academy. It's on coaching. It talks a lot about those findings because it's the same pretty much between the Aura and the coaching. But if we're looking at the result, you have the percentage, which is the relevancy in one's life from a scale of positive 100% to negative 100%. That's the relevancy within the life. We talked a little bit about relevancy in what manner, awareness of it or not awareness of it, positive or negative. Then there's in vertical brackets, there's another number, and it's between 1 and 10. That's the intensity. So you have the relevance, first thing. Second is intensity. Number 10 means it's super intense. Whatever the findings here are super intense in your life. The way that it's influencing your life, whatever the result is, it's intense. Meaning that it has a large degree of influence on you. So if it's a 1, it's like it's there, but you've probably been doing some work on it. So the intensity is lower, right? Just like if you guys go out and run a marathon today, you're going to be pretty sore, right? You didn't even no work on that, no preparation. You went out there and made your body do something, and it hurts. But if you prepared for it, you've been working on doing a marathon, and then you go out and actually perform a marathon, you're less sore. So it's what we're working on. That's that number between 1 and 10 within the brackets. And then the last bit of content is the dilution within the life, the L or the D, the C, and the LM. Those are different dilutions. And so that information, you go to that coaching profile. I actually don't think I watched that video. Jake, that's is that in there too?
Yeah, it's there. And as far as the intensity from Aura to resonance to coaching, they are the same. They mean the same thing as far as how to interpret the intensity. So
yeah. Okay. So Nancy, did you get that thing back online? Yeah. I got you. Just can you chat? Can you type in the chat what's going on there? I don't see it. So Nancy's looking, I think she's saying, hey, anybody in Colorado, Denver? Did you get it? I'm going to unmute you. I want to hear what you, can you unmute?
Yes, I unmuted.
There you go.
Okay, so now it says connecting to Healy. I downloaded the one, now it looks like the one on your left shoulder, the top, the pink one.
The
Yes, that one.
okay.
Mhm. That was, it downloaded that, and I did the Healy 2 app, downloaded it, did everything. And then it wants me to scan the QR code on the back. So I tried to scan the QR code in the back and it doesn't scan. And then it says, enter the serial number of your device. There's no way I can read the numbers that are so small on this device.
Yeah.
So I don't know, is there a way I can find the serial number?
You know,
you can I'll say you can take a picture of the back of your device and then zoom
Blow it
in
up,
on it on
yeah.
your phone. So
Yeah, I tried that. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll do it again. But so I think that one of the things is that it said connecting to Healy. It kind of goes back and forth between this. It says connecting to Healy and then it says connected. Basically, I'll figure this out as far as the scanning and the codes and all that. But what I want to ask you is, when this is done, is this one the same as the one I doubt that I deleted? Because it doesn't look the same. Mine had a dot in it.
No, what I want you guys to understand that this app right here that I'm pointing to, this
Mhm.
Healy app, this app right here handles all of the microcurrent function, all the
Mhm.
microcurrents. Now, our academy, I want you to go to the academy, Nancy, and I want you to watch as many things about these apps because it's a beautiful array of information. So
Yes.
anyway, in the academy, it gives a lot of content about what this app is all about, and it's only primarily, I should say, I don't like to say only, but primarily its purpose is for the microcurrent that comes out of the Healy and then is either transfused into the coil and magnetic energy, or it's connected to the wires and it's infused into the body. That's all this one is for. The other
Okay, so
one,
what should I have downloaded?
the other one is right here, this blue dot right here.
Yeah, that's the one I tried it. It's not there on my app store. That's the one I thought I was trying to download.
So you'll
And
see it says HealAdvisor Analyze. That's what you're going to want to look for in your.
Okay,
Absolutely.
HealAdvisor Analyzer. And
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what it says because
We got to run through some more of the questions and
Yeah.
make sure that we got everybody. So Nancy, I'm sorry, we're going to have to run, but I want you to do me a favor. Go to the academy, because we can't see anything on the screen.
I know.
Sorry, just because.
yeah.
But
Mhm.
but go to the academy, take a look at those videos. I'm telling you, you're gonna love it because it's gonna help you a lot.
Yes.
Takes a little bit, but it'll help you a lot.
No, I will do that. Okay, so is there anybody that lives in Denver? Is there any kind of a small peer support group? Because some of the things that you're talking about, I have no idea what you're talking about.
yeah, Nancy, why don't you join us tomorrow for What's Up Wednesday? On that call, the link to join that is a Zoom at 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
I have the
And
link.
we'll-
Yeah. So
we'll-
what time is it Eastern time?
1 p.m. Eastern, so
8 p.m.
1 p.m.
Oh, I can't do 1 p.m., but that's okay.
Okay.
I'll figure it out. Okay.
But yeah, join our Healy World Americas. Hey, there's a lot of Facebook groups out there as well for Healy.
Yeah,
And then just ask, you know. So
Yeah. So for step one, and you know what, I have a lot of folks that kind of like where Nancy's at, is like, I love this product. I want to know now all about it. And I always encourage people to start with who your sponsor is and work from that, whoever that is. And then if they're not responsive, what resources do we have from that point on, which is our academy? Awesome resources. Our Telegram group, which is called the Team Healy USA Telegram group. There are calls that we put in there that you can join. And when you join those calls, here's the fun part. The What's Up Wednesday call, you join there, and in that chat, you ask, hey, who's in Denver or whatever, because there's a bigger, wider audience. This is like a tech solving audience. But the audience there is bigger, wider, and you'll be able to maybe interact with other people and find some resources. But there are resources. The academies are number one. Well, our uplines are number one. The academy is something that's really a useful tool as well.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did we miss anything?
well, I think one question to close with here. This is one of our favorites. You know, it comes up almost every other week. It's worded different ways sometimes, but with the coil, using the coil with the Analyze app, stop the vibration from being sent. You know, a lot of times we get the question is there any benefit to using the coil with the Analyze app? But in this case, and we always mention that there's no real proven benefit, but in the same way, there's not necessarily any harm in having it on there. But Ken, you've talked about how having that on the back, which is close to the quantum sensor, the physical noise generator, that there's no real reason to have it on there. But
right, so the cabinet itself of the Healy, what it all looks like, and on the back side is the clip, right? On the circuit board, if we were to open this up and look at the circuit board that's inside there, the actual quantum sensor is on this back side. So it's exactly right in the center underneath this clip. That's where the quantum sensor is. And the quantum sensor's job is a couple of things: interfacing with the information field and also sending vibrational information into the information field, both, right? So it's reading and writing. So when we put a coil on, where's the coil go? Right back here, right? And so what is a coil? But we've all seen what the coil is. It's a circular array, which is literally wire. It's copper wire. It sends current flow in a circular pattern along a circuit, and it, as a result, creates a magnetic field. There's actually two in there, piggybacked on top of each other, but they're offset 180 degrees, so that you have two magnetic fields that are essentially going in essentially opposite directions. So when you have this sitting there, and you have a transmitter inside here sending information out, and it has to, I don't know, let's just say it's got to go through this coil of material, right? Is that beneficial? Again, there's no studies, but I'm an engineer. As an engineer, I know when magnetic energy is emitted out into the field, and when it comes across an antenna, aka your body, or any coil of wire or any conductor, it must propagate the magnetic signal, generate electron flow in the antenna, and then the antenna downloads content or absorbs content and then reveals the content. What's it being revealed to? So this is plugged into the Healy, right? The sensor is sending out vibration being condensed into the coil, sending it where? Right back into the Healy, right? So there's no reason for it to be attached. There's no benefit for it being attached from an engineering perspective. There's no benefit. There's no reason for it to be attached. So if you're not taking it off because you're just lazy, come on, take it off. No, I'm just saying that there's no proof saying that it's not, that it's hindering, but logically, my opinion is that it's not beneficial.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right,
Yep.
guys. Is that it? Are we done?
Yeah, I think that's it. Just a reminder here, we'd like to mention this at the end of the call to save the chat. We put a lot of great links and things and information into the chat. Open that chat window, and next to the smiley face, you'll see 3 dots that says more. You click on those 3 dots, and then you can click save chat, and that will save this whole chat to your computer. If you're on a phone right now, that won't do it. But if you're on a desktop or a laptop, whatever, you'll be able to save that chat, and you can then go back and reference it later too. So
there you go, everybody. Well, hey, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you guys being here. Please tell a friend if this was beneficial. Let's get this problem solved out there. Jake, thank you very much. Christian in the background, thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you tomorrow on What's Up Wednesday. Ciao for now.
Oh, and this recording will be available on our YouTube page, HealyAmericas.com. Check for that in the next 48 hours. We'll have that up there, and you can go back and review this whole call as well.
Isn't that great? I love it. All right, guys. Bye for now.